Hey guys, welcome to week 5 where we're going into Illustrator. What? So, Photoshop was fun. That's where you manipulate pixels. That's one way to look at them both because often a question we get is what is the difference between Photoshop and Illustrator, or what is the difference between raster and vector? And just remember, raster, you're dealing with square pixels which line up next to each other. So they're square pixels of colors. They line up next to each other in mathematical ways for the purpose of creating something, an image, a picture, or whatever thought that you have. So with these pixels, you never want them to be stretched. You want them to stay in those squares because, as you know, when you stretch something, you start to wear it down, and you start seeing it decompose. So with raster, that's the reason you want to make sure you know what size you want to use, because it's okay if you need to reduce the size of a photo, but if you need to increase the size of a photo, that's when you're going to see the crazy stretchy disintegration of that photo. With vector, we're dealing with what's called points and paths. So that means that there's a mathematical formula that looks at the graph between the 2 points and can redraw it to be any size that you want without losing that quality. And the way that I like to describe vector is kind of like when um, you know how you do what is it called? Connect the dots, where you connect the dots to create an image. So if you were doing it of a puppy, like back in the day, then you would be connecting the dots to create that puppy image. Okay. So that's kind of the difference. Vector, you pretty much can stretch it. You pretty much can increase the size without having to worry about the quality, which is why vector products are what you would use when you're creating things like logos or things that you want to go up on huge billboards, things that you want to be abnormally large sizes or larger sizes. Um, and so the reason we use logos a lot is because a logo, you want it to be able to go onto something as small as, say, a pen, right? Small as your ink pen, all the way to as large as, say, billboards or, huge walls and things like that. So those are the differences. I want to make sure I started off talking about that really quick between vector and raster. That brings me into what we're going to be doing in vector. So your project this week is actually going to be a project called Illustrate Your Life, or Illustrate My Life. And we'll talk about that more in detail. But what I'm going to use to demo is a character design. So what you're seeing on the screen now is a character that my son drew or traced, and he traced bits and pieces of it to create and make it his own. This is of the character called, or a character from One Piece, or the character is One Piece. I'm not sure. I don't really understand anime, but he's in here too. The character is Luffy from an anime called One Piece. Tell you guys, anime is just not my thing unless it's Pokemon, which I don't really watch, but I know of them. But anyway, so so the character is Luffy. That he loosely drew his own character to make himself. So if we look at the original, if we look at the original, so this right now, what's seen is the character that my son drew based off of this character of Luffy. So he says he's always wanted to create an anime. So he's pretty excited to go into Illustrator and to be able to draw this. And it has really enlightened the love that, he had a love for drawing, but drawing digitally, now he's like really, really into that. So that's kind of cool. So this is the original character, and then this is what he made from that character. Basically it's pretty much the same body, the same sword, but definitely, obviously, different facing and different shadowing and stuff like that, and different hair, and he had a lot of fun, creating these details. And as you can see, since it's vector, if we go in, it still stays crisp. And that's the thing that you'll have with vector design. You'll see that those lines still stay crisp. If this was something that was done in Photoshop, you would see the closer that we get to it, you would start to see the aliasing, the ridges, in the line. But as you can see, the line quality, as I'm getting bigger, no matter what, that line quality stays the same, stays just as crisp as it was. And so these are the details that my son did to make it his, which is where it's, totally different face, expression wise, you gave him sunglasses, and expressions in the face and shading and the ears, and gave him earrings, and he gave him dreads. And then up here, we can see the hat, that he gave him, kind of like a Scully style hat. What do you say? A do-rag, sorry, do-rag. I'm getting these terms, guys, He's like 2 years old, so I'm just kidding. He's 15. He's a baby. But anyway, so these are pretty much, we're going to create a character today in this demo. Now, that is not your assignment. I know there was I am actually correcting the syllabus because the syllabus has that as your assignment. That's not your assignment. That's what we're going to use in a demo. Your assignment is called Illustrate My Life. And that's where you're going to create a project using 6 or more things to describe you. So 6 things that you illustrate to describe you. And I'm going to show you another example of that was also done by my son in another video. But in this video, I just wanted to quickly come on here to kind of explain the project, also give you a recap of raster versus vector. So in the next video, that's where we'll actually get started in creating creating character for the demo, where I can show you some illustration techniques that you will use to create your Illustrate My Life project. All right. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. I'm going to end this video here and see you soon. Bye.